The modern man tutorials. Being nice to chicks you don't necessarily find attractive, or even chicks you don't get along with, right? Because they're useful, right? Even if you don't like them, somebody else will. And you can kind of consider this pimpology, right? Pimpology 101, lesson 1, right? Um, you know, women have different values and different uses. So I consider females, a asset class, a lot like other asset class, like art, stocks, you know, things of that nature, right? Things that have their benefits, whether it be financially, socially, right, morally. That's a thing, right? So that's why it's a good idea, especially in all three of those categories, for you to get along with chicks that you don't find attractive or don't even get along with. There's certain groups of ladies out there that I don't agree with, but I still do my best to get along with them, right? And let's say you consider them your enemy. Well, you should know your enemy, right? You should know your enemies better than you know yourself, right? It's only logical. Because that's how you can better combat. That's how you can better defend, right? If you know, for example, I use feminism. If you know a lot about feminism, then you're able to, especially if you're in disagreement with feminism, the more you know about it, the more you can, defend your position of why you don't agree with feminism. Sometimes one of the main things they'll try to use is saying that you don't understand, you don't know, you're not a feminist, so you wouldn't know. But like they'll try to go with this whole, idea of your ignorance or your lack of knowledge of something means you can't speak on it. So it'd be hard to speak on feminism if you don't know about feminism, right? And I could agree to that, right? To a certain degree, I could agree to it. It's like the idea that's like you should know a lot about something if you're going to be talking about it, especially if you're going to make a whole bunch of videos about it, right? If you're going to be anti-feminism and that's your content, then you need to know a lot about it, right? Now I don't agree with new age feminism. I do agree with first wave feminism, but not any of the other ones that came afterwards. But I'm not an anti-feminist content creator, for example. So, but wouldn't be surprised if my content is viewed that way. Obviously, most of my content will be viewed as misogynist, right? Which is just feminism's way of saying gay, right? They're just trying to, emasculate us with, saying, misogyny, which is the hatred of women. And it's like, but that don't make no sense. If we hated women, y'all wouldn't be talking to us. You wouldn't be interacting with us because we would ignore you. We wouldn't talk to you. We definitely wouldn't talk about you. It makes no sense to talk about something you hate, right? That's stupid. Dumb people do that. Dumb people talk about things they hate. Pointing out issues is one thing, and then having solutions is another. But there's literally people out there that literally spend time pointing out the things they hate. I will point out facts of things that's wrong and then, give solutions, which will also be fact-based, of course. So this is the kind of stuff, you deal with in life. But anyway, back to getting along with ladies they're not your type, right? We all have our preferences. We have our, likes and dislikes. But even though you don't like the chick specifically, it's still beneficial to you to treat her as if she was your type. But be careful, because she could catch feelings, and if you don't want that, unless you do, to each their own. But I'm not encouraging the idea of having her catch feelings, because the idea is not to mislead her. The idea is to get her to have positive interaction with you, right? It's the whole idea. Basically, you got to understand what I'm trying to get at is the whole idea of networking with the ladies. Networking. with ladies in general. Like, even if I don't agree with, most modern day feminists, I still get along with them. I still treat them as if they're not feminists. Until they start acting like a feminist, then that's a different story. But I would treat them like a lady, right? I would treat them with respect and whatnot until they no longer deserve it. So that's the point I'm making. So even if you don't find a chick to be pretty, still treat her like she's pretty, right? And and so forth and so forth. Even if she's a plus size girl, treat her like she's not plus size. You get my point? So it's the idea of treat them how they want to be treated, even if you don't believe they should be treated that way, right? Oh, yes. Treat them the way they want to be treated. Wow. And there's benefits to that. That's the whole point, right? There's benefits to treating something. It's the same thing like when you're investing in the stock market. Instead of just investing all in the popular companies, the companies that make a lot of money you hear about all the time. Invest in small companies. Invest in non-name brand companies. It's the same thing as like instead of buying name brand clothes all the time, buy cheaper stuff, right? Buy off-brand. So that's the idea. Is like, diversify. So diversify when you're dealing with the ladies. Don't limit yourself to just your type, right? Diversify. One, you never know. You might like what's on the other side, right? You might like the variety. I like variety, so I'm not against it. So already inherently going to get along with females in general. And something I notice I do a lot, and most guys do too, is that we always find something to like about a chick. Chicks typically always try to find something to dislike you for, which ironically comes in handy sometimes when you want them to to not catch feelings. Once you see a chick is catching feelings, then try to figure out what will make her disqualify you, stop having feelings for you, right? And then use that as a way to, rein her in, as it were, right? To be able to be like, nope, don't catch feelings, turn that off, right? Turn your feelings off for me. Not trying to hurt your feelings or anything like that. Not trying to mislead you. So let's turn it off. And sometimes I tend to do that through like jokes, insults. Sometimes not derogatory insults, but I'll make a joke about something. Or something even not that big of a deal, like something that doesn't even make sense. Like, I'd be like, your hair is too shiny or something. And they'd be like, what? And then I'll make it like that's a problem. And for them, it's like, this don't make sense for that to be a problem. Why do you have a problem with my hair being shiny? I mean, my hair is wet. Obviously, it's going to be shiny, right? Stuff like that. And, because females do care, about their appearance, right? They care about what other people think. So even though this is something stupid, right? The whole hair being shiny thing, this can, put them off, right? As a guy, you have to know how to, I'm gonna say, control women's emotions. I made videos about that before, controlling their emotions, because it's not about control per se. Obviously, the method is controlling their emotions, but the purpose isn't control. People love using the word control in a negative context. It's not negative. I'm saying understanding the language. Females operate on emotions, which means that's their language, right? That's the way they speak. That's the way they make decisions. Guys are about facts, right? They're about logic. So we speak in logic, women speak in emotions. So it only makes sense that if you want to speak their language, it has to do with emotions, right? Because emotions, their language, right? So learning to control their emotions is learning to speak their language. It's not manipulation or anything like that. People like to make things more diabolical than it needs to be. It's just that you understand that if you say something in a certain way, she might be happy, but if you say it in a different way, she might be sad. And that's all it is. It's just understanding. It's always funny when I hear that term, emotional intelligence, which to me is not a thing, but based off of just the term, emotional intelligence, I will see that as like, okay, understanding emotions and being able to communicate through emotions. So emotional intelligence to me is more about understanding human emotions in general, because guys, we have emotions too, which is why we can easily learn how to control not only our own emotions, which we have to have control over female emotions. The thing is, in general, both male and female should learn to control their emotions logically, right? Just like learn to control your eating habits, learn to control your life and your finances and your relationships, and the list goes on, right? Control the car while you're driving it so you don't crash, right? Logic. Control is part of life. So that's why when people use control in a negative way, it's like, no, control is a good thing when it's done in a good way. It can be bad, but anything can be bad. Love can be bad. The truth can hurt. Truth hurts. Most people like to think that truth is a good thing. It's like, no. On average, truth hurts. So, and if you think hurting is bad, then that means the truth is bad, right? Especially nowadays, people treat the truth like it's bad. Like, oh no, don't tell me the truth. That's bad. Don't hurt my feelings by telling me the truth that you don't like me. Right? It is true that me being big is unhealthy. Don't tell me that, because it hurts. So a lot of people like to think truth is good, but whenever the truth is said, it's treated badly. It's taken badly. Unfortunately, I had a situation where there's this chick that I liked, that I was talking to. We were vibing, things were good until something I said, and because of her, and I'm gonna say it, females are the ones with insecurities. Because of her own insecurity about her body, which I was attracted to, by the way. I liked her body type. She was insecure about her body type and blocked me because of it. Blocked me on multiple of my accounts because of it, which was very childish. It's like, damn, everything was cool. We were getting along. We were vibing. Conversation was going very well until she made a video about food, and then she mentioned her weight. And this is where I, made that video about don't give a solution unless somebody asks you for the solution directly. So I saw the video. I made some suggestions, which wasn't about like weight loss or anything. I made a statement about the idea of it's not how much you weigh on a scale that matters. It's how you look, the shape. The shape is what matters. That's literally all I was saying. Somehow that gets misconstrued as me saying that being big is bad or something. It's like, no, I didn't say being big was bad. I said, the way it looks is what matters to people. And I was talking about in general. I wasn't talking about me. I was talking about in general. Like, in general, that's what it was. I said, in general, most people don't have an issue with how much you weigh on a scale. What they have an issue with is the shape of the body is what they have an issue with. Because logically, guys like fat. Big butts is fat. Big tits is fat. Big thighs is fat. So saying that guys don't like fat is incorrect. We like fat. We just like fat in certain areas. So that's why I said shape. Where the fat is matters, right? Fat matters. So that's why it was, unfortunate, very sad that she took my statement and because of her emotions blocked me. I mean, the only reason you'll block somebody is because you got emotional, especially if you're a chick. Because if I block somebody, it's because they were disrespectful or because of other, ignorant reasons. But it wouldn't be because of emotions. But the fact that she blocked me was, an issue. So that is an example of like, yeah, I said something which wasn't disrespectful. Definitely wasn't intended to be disrespectful. Definitely wasn't fat shaming. If anything, it was explaining, you know, why some people do and don't like certain body types. That's all it was. It was just an explanation. But you know how it is. Like I said, insecurity. Somebody was self-proclaiming themselves to be fat that I didn't see them as fat. So I didn't see her as a fat chick, but she saw herself as a fat chick. So again, her insecurity. So she projected her insecurity onto what I said and used that to be mad at me when she shouldn't have been, because I didn't say anything to her. So that's the problem, right? It's not what you say. It's how they feel about what you say. So that's why you gotta learn to be careful what you say. Here's another example, which don't make sense, right? Right? Because we're logical, right? As guys, me using the word cute. Apparently, sometimes saying cute, which is a generic term, right? It's a generic expression. You can say anything's cute. You can say, "Hey, dude, that's a cute outfit." I mean, that doesn't sound it doesn't sound cool to say it, but as an example, right? Like it's like you could say something's cute. Like, okay, dude, you have your dog is cute, right? You could say something like that. That makes more sense in context. But the point is just using the word cute. Woo! I mean, shit, I have another example, which is the smirk emoji on TikTok. Apparently, people interpret and misunderstand the smirk emoji way too much on TikTok, especially when I use it. I guess it's me using it that causes people to, I don't know, create their own version of what the smirk emoji means. Anyway, so a lot of times I get positive, reactions to the smirk emoji, and sometimes I don't. But back to what I was saying, the cute. I used the word cute in couple conversations or comments, I should say, and got one or two one or two negative reactions, as opposed to the other ones where it wouldn't have been a big deal, whether it was ignored or they saw it, but it wasn't a big deal since it's not a curse word, right? It's not offensive. It's definitely not inappropriate. But ironically, some people do treat the word cute as being an inappropriate word. Ain't that ironic? When did saying cute suddenly become a bad thing? Literally, in the Japanese culture, they have the word kawaii, which means cute. And they love everything to be cute and kawaii. So everything in their culture is kawaii. So it's funny for me to say cute and somebody gets offended by it. Somebody gets felt sexualized or something like that. It's like, damn, since when did cute become, a derogatory term? But that's what you learn, especially when you're on TikTok, talking, commenting, right? Yeah, you figure out, how people react to certain things. And that's why it's so surprising. It's like, wait, I've been saying cute for many, many years. It's never been a bad thing to say something's cute or say the chick is cute, right? If anything, it was always a positive thing. But nowadays, it's a bad thing. I guess some guys out here made the word cute a negative, I guess. Or just, I don't know, feminism, right? Blame them, right? That's what I'm thinking. They're probably the ones who ruined the word cute. So now, I guess cute is supposed to be sexist, I guess. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe saying cute, especially to a female, now is considered sexist. It's like, oh, that's sexist. Don't call me cute. You're trying to belittle me. You're trying to make it seem like I'm a girl when I'm a grown-ass woman or something. I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know why cute is a problem. All I do know is that so far it has created problems me using it. So I try to be careful with using it. So in other words, I don't try to use cute as, normal vocabulary. I try to use it selectively. So now I use it as a test. Just like the smirk emoji, I use the word cute as a test. But back to the ladies, right? Get along with them. Whether you find them attractive or not, get along with them because there are benefits to it. Being nice to the female gender in general always has a positive effect because it builds your reputation. They will have positive things to say about you. Remember, females are human, obviously. So if you're nice to one of them, that's you being nice to all of them. Which means if you're nice to the females you don't find attractive, the females you do find attractive, they will hear about it. They will know about it. And then they'll think positive about you, and you always want them to think positive about you. And boom. I mean, that's always been my experience. There'll be times where there's chicks that I like they don't pay attention to me, right? Because, they focus on some other dudes. But then when I start giving chicks who are not my type, who I'm not interested in, attention, suddenly I get the attention of the chicks that I do want. So from my experience, that's what works for me. That's why I'm sharing it with you guys. Since that works for me, being nice to chicks that aren't my type, on average, leads to me getting the chicks that are my type. I have many examples of that. I remember one time, long time ago, there was a prom thing or some type of student dance thing. Back in the day when I was young in school, ironically, there was chicks that I liked, right? There were the popular girls. They had no interest in me. They tend to look down on me. It's like, okay, they don't like me. I'm not their type. Okay, fine. So be it. But the irony, once other chicks started showing me attention, started being nice to me, then I ended up, dancing with them, interacting with them. I even got, a chance to say hi and talk to them and ask them questions and stuff. It was like, oh, damn. The whole entire school year, they were avoiding me. The whole entire school year, they looked at me like I'm a loser, right? Like I'm not a nobody. But then this one moment, suddenly I'm the cool guy. Suddenly they want to hang out with me. They want to talk to me, dance with me, right? Interact with me, right? Which was a little bit ironic, but at the same time, it kind of made a little bit of sense because you got to think about the situation. In the situation, a lot of guys were not dancing with these girls. So these girls, throughout the whole year, were very popular, but once this dance came up, suddenly they weren't popular. None of them had dates and this, that, and there. So it's like, no surprise. I mean, y'all been a little bitchy, a little mean girl-ish through the year. So no surprise, a lot of guys, didn't hit y'all up. And the thing is, y'all probably was being mean because y'all wanted the attention of certain guys, but those guys didn't pick you. That's what happens when you're being very picky. There, a lot of times, the ones you want don't pick you. Ooh, gotta hate when the people you want are picky too. That's why you shouldn't be that picky and be open. So, like I said, I've been in scenarios where I was with chicks that are not my cup of tea, but because I was with them, that opened up opportunities for other moments. Like for me to be Captain Save-A-Hole a bit, essentially, right? To go be nice and dance with these mean girls. Best way to describe them, mean girls. It's like, okay, y'all are the hot popular chicks. Y'all gave me no time of day through the whole school year, but suddenly now, when no other guys give you any attention, now you want my attention. Ain't that ironic? But hey, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I had a great night. Even if their night wasn't that great, hey, that's on them, right? They created that dynamic. They created that scenario for themselves. If they were nicer to people, right, at least they would have had options. Maybe I would have asked them to the dance and whatnot, right? Even if I'm not their cup of tea, at least they would have got the offer, which would have been better than no guy offering at all. And then ironically, they end up having to dance with me anyway. It's like, it's better to do things positively than negatively, and that's the irony. So, their L's will always be my W's. Remember that, guys.